The decline of the American family has reached a dangerous tipping point, impacting nearly every corner of society today. Since the 1960s, we've witnessed a crisis growing steadily. Single-parent homes and fatherless children, once concentrated in low-income communities, are now widespread issues threatening the very fabric of our nation. Think about this: 24 million children, 34% of all kids in the U.S., live in households without their fathers. For African-American children, that figure skyrockets to 66%. And every year, another 2.5 million children join the ranks of the fatherless. The two-parent married family has long been a bedrock of societal stability. And yet, fatherlessness is now tied to some of the most troubling social problems we face: violent crime, substance abuse, academic failure, unwed pregnancies, suicide, and psychological disorders. Children without their biological fathers are at least 2 to 3 times more likely to face these challenges than those raised in stable, two-parent homes. Here's the reality: the overwhelming majority of prison inmates, high school dropouts, teen parents, and violent offenders come from fatherless homes. And here's something even more striking: children from wealthy but separated families are at greater risk of trouble than those from poor but intact ones. Fatherlessness transcends income, race, and geography. It's a crisis rooted in something deeper. Policymakers have tried to address this. In the 1990s, President Clinton launched a presidential fatherhood initiative, and Vice President Gore oversaw a federal conference on fatherhood, producing reports and programs aimed at reconnecting fathers with their families. President George W. Bush called fatherlessness one of the greatest social problems of our time, advocating for millions in funding to promote responsible fatherhood and marriage. More recently, Governor Ron DeSantis in Florida has recycled these programs despite zero evidence of their effectiveness. And yet scholars and advocates have sounded alarms for decades. David Blankenhorn's Fatherless America calls this crisis the most harmful demographic trend of our time. David Popeno's Life Without Father echoes the same warning. Nonprofits like the National Fatherhood Initiative have worked tirelessly to restore the importance of fatherhood in our society. But even as political approaches have shifted from fatherhood initiatives to promoting marriage, the core problem remains unsolved. We've been fed a lie. The dominant narrative suggests that fathers are simply abandoning their families. Leaders from both political parties, scholars, and media outlets repeat this idea again and again. Fathers are choosing to walk away. But the truth? There's no substantial evidence to support that claim. The media and government have perpetuated harmful stereotypes about fathers. They portray them as irresponsible, as abandoning their families without cause. This narrative justifies expanding government power, implementing punitive policies, and silencing dissent. Yet, when pressed, not a single reputable study supports the idea that most fathers abandon their children voluntarily. In fact, the evidence points to something much more alarming. The epidemic of fatherlessness is not about abandonment, it's about government overreach. Policies meant to support families have backfired, undermining family integrity and eroding parental authority. Child support enforcement, marriage promotion initiatives, and other well-intentioned programs have morphed into punitive systems that tear families apart. What started as public assistance has become a labyrinth of family courts, child support agents, and protective services, a Kafkaesque nightmare operating outside constitutional norms. Parents, through no fault of their own, are dragged into quasi-criminal proceedings, stripped of their rights and punished by a system with little oversight or accountability. Government intervention isn't just a response to family breakdown, it's a driving force behind it. Welfare policies that discouraged marriage and drove fathers out of the home have evolved into a broader attack on families of all income levels. Divorce laws, child custody battles, and bureaucratic overreach have created a system where the bond between father and child is weakened, replaced by the growing power of the state. This isn't just a policy failure, it's a societal crisis. The campaigns to promote fatherhood and marriage, while well-meaning, risk expanding government's influence in private life even further. Instead of empowering families, these efforts too often undermine them, creating a vacuum where state control grows. If we want to address the crisis in the American family, we need to rethink this approach entirely. Government intervention has too often weakened the very bonds it claims to protect. The solution lies not in more programs or policies, but in restoring the essential connection between parents and children. Only by empowering families, not the state, can we begin to rebuild the stability and future of our society.